I bet that everyone who's looking at this at some point has been a job seeker. It seems impossible to me that you cannot at some point have been looking for work. Maybe the last time was when you were a child entrepreneur and you were talking to the corner shop owner about a paper round, or you were out looking for babysitter gigs. But I bet you have looked for work at some point in your life. And we all know some of the most stressful things in life: weddings, moving house, and of course, looking for a job. And it's equally as stressful for a grad fresh out of university as it is for someone who's been in their job for a while and needs to look for something new. I've been a recruiter for over 20 years now and have recruited in the UK and globally. And during that time, I've spoken to thousands of people about changing jobs. Boy, trust me when I say the world of job searching has changed more than I could have ever imagined. People talk about how Uber have changed taxis or Airbnb have changed hotels, but I think LinkedIn and Indeed have changed recruitment and job searching as much as those two. It's up there with all of those. What's happened is that finding your next job has become this vast universe of online data that can easily be entered by anyone, but not easily accessed to get where you want to get to. Think about it. You've lost your job in these crappy coronavirus times and you need to secure a new role. What do? Do you talk to some recruiters? Which ones? There seems to be so many these days. Do they all have the same vacancies? Are these jobs even real they're advertising? What about looking on the job boards? Which ones? Do I register on all of them? Do I upload my CV? Are they advertising the same jobs? What about LinkedIn jobs? What about my LinkedIn profile? Where do I start? There is so much data out there, so many tasks, and you as a job seeker don't even know how much of it is true. Even when you do start, you spend time on a well-written CV, you upload your nicely prepared CV onto that website, and of course your well-written cover letter. You click on that send button and off it whizzes into the system. You then get a nice, polite, automated message back thanking you for your application. And then 9 times out of 10, you never hear anything ever again. And when you've done that 10, 20, 30 times, 100 times, how do you keep motivated? And how do you stay positive? I'd like to share with you an idea on how you can stay more positive when you're out there job hunting. It's making it a more personal, more human experience for you that will also keep you motivated and actually result in finding job opportunities that aren't even out there on the job boards, on LinkedIn. Now, it might sound pretty obvious, but I'm going to assume that you already know what you want to do, that you've already understood the purpose of the job you want to do, and you're not sort of starting out going, what do I want to do in my life? So you have a clear idea in your mind of the job you want to do, the sector you want to work in, perhaps even some of the organisations you want to work in. So let's talk about what you can actually do. And I've broken it down into 3 separate parts. Firstly, step 1 is to build relationships with a variety of people across your target market. Not just the head honchos in those top companies that you want to work at. They get inundated with people contacting them, and you'll get lost in that myriad of data and emails I mentioned earlier. But look to develop relationships with others at that organization who work within the field you want to work within. The recruiters, there are internal recruiters in these companies. Get to know who they are, build a relationship with them, make sure they know who you are. And there are external recruiters who specialize. So look at what they do on their LinkedIn profiles. Talk to them about the companies they recruit for. How long have they specialized? and make sure you watch out for the newbie recruiters or the generalists who won't necessarily help you. But also seek out the key professionals in that company. You know, they may not be the hiring managers, but building up relationships with them will let you know what's going on in that company and give you an insight that perhaps others wouldn't get. So what you can do is you can look at their you can follow them on LinkedIn, you can follow them on Instagram, you can follow them on Twitter, you can comment on their posts, and you can start to engage with people so that they know who you are, and you're becoming a bit of a personality for them. The second step is to get offline. Yes, you will need to do an awful lot of work on the internet, through social media, through email, through research, through browsing. It is an important part of the job process. But if your job hunting stops there, then that's not enough. You need to be having an informal coffee with people that you've been building these networks in. And not just because you're going to ask them about the job hunt, not because you're going to ask them about vacancies, but because you're starting to build relationships with them and you're starting to understand what's going on in their fields. The more of these informal coffee meetings you can have, the much greater chance you will find a role you're excited about in your sector that would never be out there in the internet online. But I hear you say, hang on a second, Pete. Why would anyone want to meet with me? Why would they want to give up their time for me? Well, that brings me on to my third and final step, reciprocity. What are you giving back to them to make them want to meet you? And there's plenty that you can give back. You need to switch it up again. You need to offer them something, their time for the information you have. It might be that you already have people in their network that would interest that internal recruiter. So you can put on an email, let's meet for a coffee. I'd love to find out more about your organization. But I'd also love to talk to you about some of the people I know that you might be interested in. Or that hiring manager or that individual who's a professional. You know, I've been engaging with a lot of companies about stuff they're getting up to, and I can maybe share some of the things I've heard because it might interest you in your field. You know, you've got to be creative about thinking about what have you got that might interest them. And those coffee meetings with as many people in your field is the mantra you need to find those hidden opportunities. You should be aiming for about 50 informal coffees during your job search, just meeting with people that are potentially going to provide you with some serious opportunities. Yes, you're going to spend a lot of time building an online presence, ensuring you're looking at what's going on, but the human connection is what's going to make you stand out in the current job market field. Get it right, and you will already have some relations in place, and they will want to talk to you about joining their organization. So let me just summarize those 3 steps that you can take. 1, build relationships with people at your target companies and in your target sector across social media, across all of the places they are. 2, get offline. Go and meet them for coffee so you could get to know them and find out more. And 3, offer something back to them that will make them want to meet you. Use the network you have to offer it to them. I hope you found this really useful, and good luck with your job search.